morning, fellow motor travelers. Gotta check if I have all my paperwork, didn't leave anything in the hotel. Why am I looking for paperwork? Because today we're crossing into Canada, and if you've ever wondered what you need when crossing into Canada on a motorcycle, well, today we're both gonna find out, starting right now on Moto Travel USA. Early here on a Sunday. I'm leaving the hotel in Alexandria Bay, New York. This is Captain Thompson's Resort. Motorcycle friendly, pretty awesome place. It's right on the shoreline of the St. Lawrence River, which is pretty cool, and with a great view of Bolt Castle. Look it up if you're not familiar with it, but it looks pretty amazing. I didn't get a chance to see it. And within walking distance, as you can see, is this cool little town. Bunch of restaurants, bars, souvenir shops. So you can grab a drink and not have to ride your bike and then go crash in the hotel. This Thousand Islands area is pretty cool, I gotta say, and I'll definitely be back. Lots to do around here, lots to see. And I definitely want to see, this trip I'm not going to get an opportunity to do it, but I do want to go to the Adirondacks, which is more east of here, within New York State. A lot of mountains and great motorcycle roads is what I've heard. But the future isn't what this is about. This is actually about today. And today we're going to be crossing into Canada. First time I've ever done it. I'm a little excited, a little nervous. Not sure what to expect at the border. Most things I've read online is that it typically goes pretty quickly. The Canadian customs officials are pretty cool and laid back and kind of ask you a few questions and let you in. So we'll see if that happens, but you just never know. I've read some horror stories as well, so we will see in a few minutes. Now, it's a beautiful morning here. Nice and cool, crisp. Not many people on the road. It's one of the reasons today I'm going to go up to Ottawa, the capital of Canada, which is a city. And I didn't really want to go there on a weekday when people are going to be working and traffic. For me, there's nothing worse than going to an unfamiliar city and trying to figure out where to go when rush hour traffic or it's insanely busy. So hopefully, since it being Sunday, it's not going to be busy. I'll be able to go in, check it out, see what it's all about, and get out without much fuss. Because I've driven around New York City, and I actually love driving there. I've driven there quite a bit in cars and motorcycles. So I'm kind of used to how that works. But when you're in an unfamiliar city, small or large, it still can be a little nerve-wracking on a motorcycle with major highways and people going to work. It just can be pretty insane while you're trying to figure out where to go and look out for all the cars. So as I mentioned, I've never been to Canada before. This is my first time. I did a lot of research to try to figure out what I need, and there's a lot of conflicting information out there, and nothing really definitive. So hopefully I can give more of a definitive answer to what exactly you need when crossing the border on a motorcycle. And here are the things that I brought. Number one, obviously, is a passport. I actually have a passport card because I go on cruises a lot, and that's just simpler, it's smaller, it's not that big piece of paper booklet, which I have one of those too, but I didn't bring that. I just brought the passport card. Also, one thing that a lot of people didn't say, but when looking on Canadian sites and about being pulled over, it looks like what I read is you needed a special Canadian insurance card, even if you have an American insurance carrier. So what I did is contacted my insurance company and requested this special Canadian insurance card. It did take about 2 weeks, so definitely be cognizant of that when you request it and planning for your trip. But it was a simple and painless process, didn't cost me anything. I really just logged into my account online and chatted with a representative, said I'm going up to Canada, can I get a Canadian insurance card? And they sent it out. Like I said though, it took about 2 weeks. So I brought that as well. In addition, I read a lot that they ask you what you're doing, where you're going when you're in Canada. So I planned a lot of my routes out and put them on the GPS, but I also printed out a version of my route just to hand them and show them this is what I'm doing today. That's not really necessary, but hopefully that helps. You should have these with you always, but just in case you don't, for whatever reason, definitely bring your vehicle registration papers. They do want to see those, and a lot of what I read, they want to know your license plate number, so you might want to jot that down if it's not on your registration paper. But definitely have your registration papers with you as well. Those are the things I brought to cross over to the border. Now, some of the things I read to definitely not bring. Number one, I left the radar detector back at the hotel. Everything I read is they're illegal pretty much everywhere in Canada. And unlike DC and Virginia, where sometimes they'll take it away, but sometimes they won't, in Canada, I read, they just will take it away, even if you're not using it. If you have one on you, they look at it as a legal device, and they'll take it away. And I didn't even want to risk that, so I just left it back at the hotel. Something else not to bring, anything that could be considered a weapon. Knives, and especially firearms. Canada has very strict firearm laws, so if you own a gun, even if you have a concealed carry permit or a firearm permit, that doesn't matter once you're crossing the border. They do not want firearms in their country from United States residents, so definitely don't bring it. I have read places that they do have storage lockers that you could store it in, but you'd have to also leave at the same entry point. Personally, for me, I wouldn't even want the hassle of any miscommunication or anything, so I would say just don't bring it. As you're driving there and you do remember you have it somewhere on you, turn around, leave it in the hotel locked up, leave it at your house locked up, but do not bring it. Look online about horror stories of people who have inadvertently, accidentally just forgotten they had a firearm in their car. It doesn't sound like a fun process. They take away your firearm and they hold you for quite some time. So definitely don't bring a firearm with you into Canada. Another thing to know, if you've ever had a DUI in the United States, there's a high probability they won't let you in. So definitely research that more thoroughly if you've ever had a DUI. Canada definitely takes DUIs much more seriously than the United States, and it's considered a higher crime in Canada. So if you've been arrested or pulled over for a DUI, there's a good chance they're not going to let you in. I read that many different places online when researching, but I also ran into this roadie who did a lot of work for pretty popular bands, and he told me a story that he was traveling with the band and all the other roadies into Canada, and they took the passports and information from everybody on the tour buses. They called him out and denied him entry into the country because he had a DUI from 15, 20 years ago, which was totally surprising to him, but he was not able to go. I can't even imagine what a mess that was. So just be careful, and if you've had a DUI, definitely do your homework. I'm not exactly sure what you can do. I've never had one, but definitely research it and look into it before spending your time. Or have alternate plans for the day that you wanted to go in, just in case they deny you entry into Canada. Wow, it really is a beautiful morning. I love the cool, crisp air. But one of the things I'm always careful about and concerned about this early and in wooded areas like this is deer and other animals. But mostly deer, because they can jet across the road, and if you've ever seen videos of motorcycles versus deer, it's not a good outcome. Definitely keeping my eyes on both sides of the roads here and slowing down if I see anything that resembles a deer. I do not want to meet wildlife like that. Now this is about a 45-minute drive at first. I'm going up, I believe this is Route 12, and it just goes along the coastline of the St. Lawrence River. Nice wooded areas, nice shoreline. This really is beautiful. I'm really surprised at the amount of bugs though. being from Florida, I mean, we have bugs all the time, but it's tropical and bugs seem to love the heat. I'm really surprised to see so many bugs here because it is kind of cool out. But I guess because of the wooded area, my windshield doesn't like it at all. As I said earlier, this is the Alexandria Bay, Thousand Islands area. Beautiful scenery. The roads are okay, as you can see. There's a lot of cracks, and probably from snow and winters, but roads are fairly good. The one thing though, this really isn't an area for sport touring per se. This is more cruising touring. By that I mean there's not really a lot of curves and twists and turns. It's more straight roads like this. If you're looking for areas with twists and turns and sweepers, this really isn't the place. But if you're looking for a place with amazing scenery, new places to discover, this place is pretty amazing. Like I mentioned, I'll totally be back here. It really is a beautiful area. Now before I get into Canada, I am going to stop for gas. I don't really want the hassle of credit card charges for foreign currency conversion or anything like that. So I just want to get gas in New York and not have to worry about any conversion charges or anything like that in Canada. There's a gas station a mile or two away from the Canadian border, so I'll just stop there. And since the FJR gets 200-300 miles per tank, I'll be good today. I'm not going to go that far. I'll be able to get through Canada. Right over there, that's Canada right there, right across. Pretty amazing to think that I'm in the United States right now, and really what looks like a quick jump, I'm gonna be in another country. Really excited about this. I'm interested to see what Canada is all about, how similar it is to the United States, and how different it is. And I haven't seen many cars on this road. It's like I own it, which I love. On a motorcycle, I think you know what I mean. Just when there's no one else around, no cars to worry about. It's just you and the road and nature, fresh air. It's not much else like it. Alright, so I'm going to find that gas station and then head on into Canada, and we'll see what that's all about. Alright, all gassed up. Just paid the toll to get across the bridge. And ready to cross into Canada. We'll see if all the preparation and paperwork I brought is what's really needed. Okay, I guess I go straight here. What is this? Do I have to stop here? This seems a little early for Canadian. There's a green light. Huh. Do I stop here? I don't see anybody in there. No, nobody's in there. I guess not. I guess we'll see in a second if people come chase me. But I don't believe I had to stop there. I believe the customs agents are on the other side of the bridge that we're going to get to here in a second. Gotta pave these roads. Yeah, I did read online that this bridge, I guess there's controversy over who should pay for painting. Now I see what they're talking about. It looks a little bit rusty. Looks super thin too. Oh my god, didn't expect that. But, oh my goodness, what a view. 25 miles an hour. I better watch it. Don't want to go hauling ass into Canada. Pretty amazing. Yeah, the thing does look kind of old. Did that just say no parking? Good advice. Can't believe if people really park here. It's so thin. Yeah, nobody's behind me. As I anticipated, only one on the road here now, and hopefully that'll help me get through customs. Super quick. You can see I'm just touring on a motorcycle. Well, bridge is a lot longer than I anticipated. But wow, pretty amazing. Air's fresh around here. Nice slight cross breeze, nothing crazy that you get on some bridges. Alright, I'm getting closer to Canadian customs right now, so I don't want to be recording, and everything I read is they really don't want you doing that. So I'm going to shut this off, and hopefully this will be a quick process, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, see you once I'm in Canada. It's about 45 minutes to an hour later now. It wasn't a super quick process as I was hoping. I was the only one there, and I didn't have to wait online, but once I got up to the window, the customs official asked me a few questions, kind of basic, probably about 4 or 5. I thought I was ready to be waved through, and he asked me to pull through and park to the left. There was a table there, like you see at airport or theme park security. Asked me to park there and go inside. So I did that, turned off the bike, turned off all the electronics and everything, took my helmet off and went inside. There were about 5 customs officials at this, what looked like a banking counter, and one waved me over. And he asked me quite a few questions, probably about 20 to 30 questions. What am I doing here? What are my plans today? And some very personal ones too, which I was kind of surprised at. He was asking me if I was ever in the Army. He asked me that a couple times, and I would be interested to see what they see on their screen and why they would ask that. And then also asked me if I had traveled to other countries, how many places I've lived. So just a whole bunch of questions. And then again, once I thought, oh, okay, everything's done, he asked for my keys and then said he would follow me outside to search my vehicle. Just for the record, I wasn't mad. I was totally complying. Again, I mean, it is, even though I look at Canada as our brother or sister, they really are another country, so they have every right to scrutinize anybody coming into their country, just as the United States should do too. They should always scrutinize people coming in and making sure they're there for a legitimate reason. I took it with a grain of salt, was totally polite, totally listened and answered truthfully to everything they asked, and I had no issue with him searching my bike. Even though I wasn't expecting it, I planned for it and really didn't bring anything except my tank bag. My top case and my 2 side cases are all empty, so there's really nothing to see in there. And that way also I can store my helmet and jacket when I'm stopped places. So yeah, so we walk outside. He hands me back the keys and asks me to unlock every compartment and take off the seat. And then once I did that, he asked me to step 20 to 30 feet away. And he searched it. He searched it up and down, everywhere. As I stood away, he searched it for a good 15-20 minutes, looking everywhere, making sure that I didn't have whatever, contraband, weapons. I don't know what he was looking for or what they saw on their screen, but he didn't find anything because there was nothing there except safety equipment and gum. After about 15-20 minutes, he called me back, said, "You're free to go, just pack up your stuff, and then come back inside to get your paperwork." As everybody knows, it takes a while to pack up your motorcycle, especially under the seat, to make sure everything fits and you know where it is. And he kind of moved everything around, so it took me a little bit to repack everything and make sure it was in place and safe for the journey. And one thing I thought was really cool, even though they had me stopped and he didn't really have to, he did tell me to go in and get the paperwork, but instead of having me go in, he actually walked out and handed it to me and thanked me for my cooperation and said, have a good day. So I really respected that. Again, they were never super ball busters or anything like that. They were just asking questions, and I was respectful back. I was never sarcastic, rude, and I always answered truthfully. It's all good. Totally understand. Totally excited to be here. That's why you leave early, not only to get the great weather, but also if you encounter issues like that delay your journeys a little bit. So all is good. Now I'm heading up to Ottawa now. And unfortunately, this is one of the only routes I could really find that took me directly there. It's a highway, which again, I mean, it's not too bad. And like I said, a lot of straight roads, not a lot of curves. But the scenery is beautiful. I do notice everybody's passing me. I do feel like a granny because I don't feel like getting pulled over here. I'm not exactly sure what the speed limit is. I haven't seen many speed limit signs. I just want to play it safe, go the speed limit. I'm in a foreign country. I want to be respectful. And I have read the police will give you tickets. They're not super lenient. Sounds like the Canadians take their driving pretty seriously as all these people pass me. Alright, it looks like I'm getting a little closer here. Curious how the traffic will be. Again, it's a Sunday. And as I said earlier, I've driven in New York City on pretty much all the major roads there. Could it be any worse than that? It is the capital, but I guess we'll see. I'm really surprised to see how much nature is around here, since I do seem so close to the city. I guess that is what Canada is known for, a lot of forests and nature, a lot of undeveloped land. I'm definitely getting closer to the city now. Many more lanes. Yeah, I couldn't imagine driving this on Monday, and if this is full like major cities in the United States, that would not be fun, because I have no idea where I'm going. Luckily I have the GPS. Hey, an IKEA. That's like one of the first stores that I've recognized. Alright, I'll pick it up once I get closer. Alright, it looks like the exit's going to be up here in a second. I'm really surprised. I would expected to see more buildings. I thought this would be a very large city, being that it's the capital. Doesn't really look all that different than the United States so far, except for having signs in French everywhere. And everything's in kilometers. That is one thing too, with the FJR, I was able to change to show kilometers rather than miles per hour, so that definitely is convenient. So I don't have to do on-the-spot conversions. The bike is actually showing me how fast I'm going. Alright, looks like the exit is right up here. Well, hello, Ottawa. Where are all the buildings? I expected much taller and bigger buildings. Kind of looks like an Orlando size. It looks nice, don't get me wrong, but I just expected a DC or New York City. Alright, hope there's turn on red in Canada. I did not research that, so I guess we'll see if there's a cop around. City looks pretty nice. Nice architecture, modern. And I believe this is the road that the coffee shop is on. I might just pull over and find a spot once I'm a little closer and then walk to it, because I also have to find an ATM. I couldn't find a place to convert US money to Canadian money in Florida, so I just figured I'd stop at an ATM around here and hope my bank doesn't charge me some crazy fees. Sorry about the camera keep going down. I want to make sure I'm going the right way on the GPS. Yeah, really nice area. Looks cool. I don't recognize any of the names of the stores, but I'd say it's super similar to a lot of places. Alright, I think I'm just going to pull over right here. I'm close enough and I don't want to fight for a parking spot, so I will park right here, look for an ATM, go grab some coffee at a Canadian coffee shop, and then we will continue this journey with more back roads of Canada. Stay tuned.
I hope that gave you some ideas for your travels, and want to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, comment or ask questions below, and please share with others if you think it might help them. Thanks for joining us this time on Moto Travel USA. Well, let's go explore.